Hello, this is Free Liu. You're watching The Shift Asia. Yayasan MySDG was incorporated in April 2022 under the Trustees Incorporation Act 1952 and is committed to fostering equal opportunities for marginalized and vulnerable communities through an inclusive whole-of-nation approach aimed at accelerating progress towards the Sustainable Development Goals. To achieve this vision, the foundation is entrusted with the vital responsibility of mobilizing, managing, and monitoring resources, particularly for the Malaysia-UN SDG Trust Fund. These funds are dedicated to supporting and accelerating the attainment of the SDGs, ensuring that no one is left behind in the pursuit of an inclusive and prosperous future. I'm here with CEO Anita Ahmad to find out more. Nice to be speaking to you, Anita. Perhaps you can share what led to the formation of Yayasan MySDG that other foundations were not addressing.
Hi, Frida. Thank you for inviting me to speak on this very important role that we're doing. So, as you mentioned, we were set up in 2022, and for the real main purpose, apart from what you mentioned, is to support Malaysia accelerating the SDGs. Now, if you look at the performance of Malaysia's SDGs, we are behind the targets, and the target's supposed to be met by 2030. But we're not the only ones. At the moment, we only met 43% of the SDGs in the country, which is not too bad considering that globally other countries have, on average, only met 17%.
Okay.
Yes, and apart from that, so that's 43%, and not only that, we also haven't met certain SDGs, obviously. And if you go really, which I can talk a bit about more later, if you go at the disaggregated level in Malaysia, we are really quite behind. So because of this, that's why the Ministry of Finance really set us up to really support Malaysia to accelerate the SDGs, as I mentioned, and to really address some of these pockets because we don't have that much time until 2030. But above that, not only to do programs, because actually in Malaysia, we're pretty good in terms of everybody putting their foot forward in terms of supporting the SDGs, but we're also looking at the financing side. So that's why we were created. And the third main reason is that we were also set up to really look at the most unserved and underserved, which may be some whether the government or corporate foundations or other foundations may not be able to support because some issues are not too mainstream.
Right.
So that's where we can come in and use that up to be able to support those kind of issues.
All right. So when you're saying that you went into the details of the 17 SDGs, there were some aspects that were a little bit more behind than others, and hence you're coming in as a stopgap measure, right? Going more granular. Now, since its inception, what are some milestones you can share?
So we have set up what's called the Malaysia-UN SDG Trust Fund. So that is in collaboration with the UN, and in that partnership, we are actually a donor to the trust fund, and the trust fund deploys grants to both UN agencies and NGOs in Malaysia to be able to support projects that address all these different issues that I mentioned. And the reason why we partnered with the UN is because, number one, they have a global benchmark in terms of how to measure against the SDGs. So that's to make sure that whatever projects that we are supporting is able to meet the aspiration of the SDGs based on that global benchmark. Secondly, as well, the way that they assess NGOs is of a very quite a high standard. So again, meeting international benchmark, and that's why we've got the partnership with them. And this is to support NGOs for larger scale projects across SDGs that address social impact indicators. And with that one, so far we've rolled out, we're supporting about 14 projects of different types, supporting multiple SDGs, whether it's on poverty, education, gender equality, and solid support. So that's the one that we launched in 2023. And we are now reviewing the second round. So we are in the midst of shortlisting the second round of applications. Now, for that one, that's really for the larger organization. So when we created that then and we started running that, the foundation found that there are many other NGOs doing good work as well, but maybe are not quite ready to reach that larger, higher scale kind of projects. So under MySDG, we also created a smaller fund with different thresholds to be able to support medium-sized organizations to then also do their good work. Right. So with that, we've already approved 12 grants. And under that, the idea is that we will also build their capacity so that one day they're able to not only apply to the trust fund, for larger funding so that they can scale or replicate their work, but to also potentially look at international funding, given that the trust fund meets the international standards for grants and applications.
Right.
So that's where we are right now in terms of, so we are really providing funding to multiple initiatives in Malaysia.
Right. So we talk about the marginalized and vulnerable communities. Are there some that are more of a priority at the moment? Are there some that, that I'm not aware of?
So I think we are aware, right, Rita, that there are certain states that are quite behind. But sometimes there are certain things also that we're quite surprised. One of the things that I found quite surprising is that Malaysia, we have a problem of stunting of children of 5 years and below.
Right.
So yeah, it's that actually nationally we are at 21.2%, which is actually quite high for such a country, right?
Right.
So that's one issue. But if you look beyond that, then you go to other states. So I've got the data in front of me. So for states like Pahang is at the higher average of even the national average at 28.2%.
Wow.
So that's one. And then of course, poverty overall, we did pretty good at 6.2%. But when you look at a very specific district in Sabah, it's at 52.7%, which is crazy, right?
Right.
So I can go and I will go into that, but I think that's what now moving forward in terms of our collective efforts. So the multiple parties are looking at the SDGs. Now we really are looking at those kind of details. So that's one. The second one that we are really addressing as well is that there are also in Malaysia many people who are either stateless, documented, or here because they're running away from major conflicts, right? So we are also here and are able to support because we have to acknowledge that they're far out of the country. They are here. So we are also supporting projects that support these marginalized groups.
Okay.
So we're looking really in terms of vulnerability, in terms of the location, where they come from, their status against the SDG targets and indicators.
Right. Are you able to elaborate on some of the programs available?
Yeah, sure. So, the kind of programs that we've been supporting so far, so under the Trust Fund, we're providing not only health services to different communities, whether it's B40 or refugees, including migrant workers. But I think more importantly, we are also building the capacity of the community to address some of these issues, at least at the front line. So a lot of what happens, for example, right, for those who are facing health issues, they may not be able to detect it themselves, or their first thing is to go to hospitals, which they cannot perform. Right. So one of the projects I can quote is that, so this is going beyond just short-term kind of deliverables, right? But to look at building the capacity to be able to support the community first, at the front line first, to understand the issues, that only be able to refer to where they should be going so that they don't waste their resources. And we're doing a similar project like that for mental health for refugees. They're also supporting low-income women PPRs as well, and to grow their income and also to improve their leadership skills, because quite a lot of times for women, it's also about building their own confidence to be able to live beyond their family and immediate surroundings.
Right.
So these are some of the examples that I can share.
Right. Okay. And what are some of the partners you currently have in place, and what other kinds of partners are you looking for?
So right now, we are very grateful to the Ministry of Finance. They provided us seed funding. Secondly, of course, we have a partnership with the United Nations, but we welcome other partners to join us in this journey of co-creating initiatives that align to the SDGs that will benefit us, accelerating or increasing our improvement of the SDGs in Malaysia. So we're looking for corporate partnerships, also to look at how we can double or scale up our support through joint partnerships. So these are some of the conversations that we already had with some potential corporate partners. Other ones that we're looking at is, sometimes it's not only looking at even funding, sometimes it's building the ecosystem. Right. So some of the initiatives that we're looking at is looking at partnerships with other philanthropy organizations to come together and see collectively what it can do for the ecosystem. So we're looking at project issues, but there's a lot of ecosystem things, like whether it's our advocacy policy or even like building the capacity of NGOs that we need to work in partnership with, because we can't do it on our own. Because like I said, at 43%, there's lots more to do in the country.
Yeah, and I think it's great, right? If people are already doing it, why don't we collaborate so that, the work is faster? Because you can't do everything yourself as well, right? And so you were talking about who is funding the Malaysia-UN SDG Trust Fund. Is that the Ministry of Finance together with UN? And I guess who can apply for it?
Okay. So the Ministry of Finance channels the funds to us, and then it goes through to them. So we act as intermediary. or an administrator of the funds. So for the ones that can apply for the trust fund, and we hope to launch the next one in the coming months this year. So the ones that can apply are NGOs. So you need to be registered for at least 2 years. You need to have a strong financial capacity. You need to be able to have a clear, what you call theory of change, or a clear understanding of what the situation is and what are the collective measures to solve the situations. And also, the applications are also open to local UN agencies to solve some of these issues as well. And NGOs can also partner with these UN agencies to implement the projects. And we are constantly looking for potential partners that are aligned to what we want to do.
Right. And what are some of the upcoming initiatives or plans for 2025, 2026? Because 2030 is happening very soon.
Yeah. So one of the things that we do, like I mentioned, is to provide grants. Apart from that, we do also consistently do either online visits or focus group discussions where we invite different representatives to give us input on what we should be doing. So these ones, we will be, you can either come to us if there's an interesting initiative that you want to discuss that you think is aligned to what we do. Apart from that, we are planning to do a conference talking exactly about that. What are the things that we need to do, because we don't have much time. And also for our grantees specifically, but we hope to open it to others as well. We are doing some training for our immediate grantees as well, because if you want them to scale up, then they need to have further support.
Right. Anita, is there anything else you want to bring up that I haven't asked you yet?
No, thank you very much for this opportunity. I really do invite you to work with us, because all of us talk about wanting to aspire to achieving the SDGs, but perhaps we're not necessarily measuring against that. So a lot of us are doing good work, but for those especially companies who are looking into sustainability or looking at the expanding your ESG into working with communities, then do come to us and we can have a chat and collaborate.
All right.
That's it.
Thank you. The call to action. Thank you for spending time with us. And of course, Anita, for also sharing the work that you're doing. And you've been watching The Shift Asia.